One day after backing out of testimony before a House committee, Michael Cohen was served a subpoena from the Senate Intelligence Committee, and it's compelling him to return and clarify what lies he told during previous closed-door testimony. Cohen had initially agreed to voluntarily testify publicly. You may recall February 7th was the date circled in everybody's calendar in front of the House committee. Just yesterday, he pulled the plug, citing threats from the President of the United States and his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, against his family. Here's some of what we're talking about.
His father-in-law is a very rich guy, I hear. His father-in-law, I thought, was the guy that was the primary focus. Well, what did he do? Did he make a deal to keep his father-in-law out? Did he make a deal to keep his wife, who supposedly, maybe I'm wrong, but you can check it. Did he make a deal to keep his wife out of trouble?
We are so distorting the system of justice just to get Donald Trump. It's going to hurt us someday.
So it's okay to go after the father-in-law?
Now, of course it is. If the father-in-law is a criminal.
Cohen's legal advisor is calling those comments criminal.
This is classic mob technique to send a signal to the individual who Mr. Trump has called a rat for telling the truth. Now, that word rat comes directly out of organized crime. It's also a signal to other inmates. But the family of Michael Cohen has been called out by Donald Trump. Once again, he ducks or lies about what he knows he's done, which is to attack a father-in-law and a wife as a way of getting to Mr. Cohen. And that is called witness tampering, obstruction of justice.
Lanny Davis did say that Cohen will comply with the subpoena. Meanwhile, the president's former campaign manager due back in federal court tomorrow. A judge demanded Paul Manafort attend a hearing to address charges that he lied to the special counsel. Prosecutors will lay out exactly how Manafort violated his plea deal. In a court filing yesterday, Manafort's lawyers pushed back against the notion their client lied, insisting he had difficulty remembering the details of what occurred. Also developing tonight, and this is new, exclusive reporting about the president's son-in-law and concerns over foreign contacts he made during the campaign. NBC News has learned, quote, Jared Kushner's application for a top-secret clearance was rejected by two career White House security specialists after an FBI background check raised concerns about potential foreign influence on him. But their supervisor overruled the recommendation and approved the clearance. Two sources familiar with the matter told NBC News, and according to this same report, Kushner was one of at least 30 cases in which this executive Klein overruled career security experts and approved a top-secret clearance for incoming Trump officials despite unfavorable information, the two sources said. Well, we're happy to have back with us tonight to talk about all of it Maya Wiley, former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, now happily with the New School here in New York. Why, Maya, welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Why would you back out of House testimony knowing that the dangling of a subpoena is always a threat to you?
Well, I think what we have to take Michael Cohen at his word, which is that he felt intimidated, right? That he felt that there was a threat to his family. And there's certainly a public record that, you know, creates a very straight line between what he's saying and how he's feeling. I want to distinguish that from the law. And what I mean here is he obviously always had the ability to sort of say to the House, I really would prefer not to testify. And obviously, Mueller would prefer he not testify. Any prosecutor does not want their witness testifying before a different tribunal or a different venue, because you don't want the creation of any potential, you know, ways in which that either signals what you're investigating. The House proceeding would have been very public. Yeah. Unlike the Senate and the subpoena we're seeing from the Senate, which at least would be behind closed doors. But I think there's this overarching question of how serious is this that the President of the United States, that the attorney representing the President of the United States, himself a former U.S. attorney, are making kind of statements about whether or not prosecutors should be paying attention to the father-in-law or the wife of Michael Cohen. And legally, that's a much harder case to prove witness tampering because of the intent that you have to show. Corruption, anything that's obstruction of justice is hard. But it's the President of the United States who himself has said, essentially, I'm the prosecutor in chief. I am also going to nominate people to be Attorney General who believe that my power is so plenary that I direct criminal prosecution. So we have the legal standard, but we also have the politics and the what I would consider something that comes up to the line of abuse of power that has to be taken into account by Congress.
If Michael Cohen has lied previously to congressional committees or a committee, why tell the truth now?
Look, there's nothing uncommon, unfortunately, about people who have done wrong figuring out that it serves them better to do right. So you may lie in the first instance and then figure out, oh, that is not a good idea. I will be better off if I start telling the truth. That's essentially what Michael Cohen has said. Yes, I lied. I lied for reasons. Now I wish I hadn't lied. Now I'm going to tell the truth. It's absolutely legitimate and common in our system for those on the other side of that to say, but why believe that person? In this instance, the people saying don't believe Michael Cohen are also people themselves, Donald Trump in particular, was a long list of statements he has made that are misrepresentations or factually inaccurate.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.